Okay, we have found our first gorillas here. I'm probably going to just get in there, take some shots. Things could get a little bit frantic for here and then. Oh, wow! For those of you who are new to the channel, let me extend a warm welcome and thanks for stopping by. My name is Andrew McDonald and I'm a professional photographer and videographer from Scotland, now living in Cape Town, South Africa. If you want to learn, be inspired, or simply see the world through my lens, then you've come to the right place. Please subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this, but for now, let's get back to this week's adventure. Hello everybody and welcome back to another wildlife photography adventure. And this one is extra special for me because it's my first ever time in the magnificent country of Uganda. I am here to lead a trip for a company called Inertia Network, and as well as doing cultural things like visiting tea plantations and staying with local communities, the absolute highlight of this trip is going to be when we see the chimpanzees in Kibale National Park and the gorillas in Bwindi Impenetrable National Park. I have wanted to see and photograph gorillas and chimpanzees for over 10 years, so I cannot wait for this adventure to begin. The guests will be meeting me here in Entebbe very soon, and then we're going to have dinner, but let's pick up this adventure tomorrow when we hit the road. So let's go! After the long drive, we stopped off for a tour of a tea plantation on the outskirts of Bigori. From there, we also visited a coffee plantation before grinding and roasting the coffee beans and sampling the coffee. We then continued on to our accommodation for the night, arriving just after sunset. So let's pick up the story the following morning. Hello everybody and welcome to our second day here in Uganda. We are currently in an area called Bigori, and this morning we did a swamp walk, which was pretty cool. We saw lots of different types of monkeys and bird life. And actually last night and tonight we are staying here at this homestay, so it's a super immersive experience. We are staying here with a family, so we sort of, they're cooking for us, we're living sort of the Ugandan life here. And then this afternoon we are heading off to do our first chimpanzee walk. So we're going to grab some lunch here at the homestay and then head off to see some chimpanzees. The entrance to the famous Kibale National Park was just a 10-minute drive from the homestay. And after arriving, we had a short presentation and briefing before heading into the forest with our guide to search for the chimpanzees. We were all very excited, and after about 1 hour of hiking, we were rewarded. It's safe to say that we had had our minds absolutely blown by this experience. It was a dream come true to witness these incredible animals in their natural habitat. So we had an incredible day with the chimps, and now we're sitting down for a nice evening here at the homestay. What's for dinner tonight, Billy?
We have some, looks like some chicken and some red sauce and some potatoes.
Looks good.
Looking good. The red sauce is.
That's the tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce.
Yes. Okay. If you like it hot, some chili oil for you. Okay, so don't you guys want some pancakes?
Thankfully, today's drive was a lot shorter, and after around 2.5 hours we arrived at our destination. Good afternoon everybody, so we've arrived here at our accommodation in Queen Elizabeth National Park. The place is very cool, nice, rustic, basic, for everything we need. We're now going to head out on a sort of drive to an area where there's a salt pan, and hopefully we're going to see some flamingos. So let's go. We drove through Queen Elizabeth National Park and arrived at the Salt Lake. From here, a local guide showed us the grueling conditions these local people have to endure to harvest the salt from the lake. It really showed how privileged we were not to have to work under these conditions. As luck would have it, there was also some flamingos feeding on the lake too. From here we drove towards the crater to watch sunset, and luck was on our side once more when we bumped into these bull elephants who were feeding at the side of the road. As someone that's used to seeing these animals in very wild areas, it was actually quite sad to see them living in such close proximity to towns, as humans continue to encroach on their natural habitat. We continued on to the crater, which actually turned out to be way more beautiful than we'd expected, and then from there we returned to the lodge to get some rest before the chimpanzee action the following morning. Good morning everybody, we are now on day 4 I think. We have arrived here for our second chimp activity, and this one's a different one. We're doing something called the CHEX experience, which is where you do a sort of chimp habituation program where you sort of spend time with the chimps and get them a little bit more used to being around humans. So there might be a lot more running around involved in this one. Hopefully the chimps will relax and sit next to us for a while and we'll get some shots. There's already some monkeys in the trees around about me here. Anyway, time to go and find some chimpanzees. Oh, and just before I go, like most things on this trip so far, it's very difficult to do any vlogging in the moment, so I'll probably be doing a voiceover and hopefully overlaying that with some nice photographs and footage. Let's go! Like most forest hikes in Uganda, we started by walking through a beautiful tea plantation. As well as being one of Uganda's biggest exports, these tea plantations are also used as a natural barrier to protect the wildlife living in these forests. The tea leaves are not very palatable to animals, and so they stay in the forest where there's far more abundant sources of food. Well, we've located the chimps and we're now just following them. They're still very high in the tree canopies here, eating the figs. One of them decided to very kindly go in the toilet all over me and Bill, so we got covered in chimpanzee crap. So we've now been with these chimps for about 3.5 to 4 hours, and they have decided it's time to have a sort of mid-morning nap. So we're just standing here watching chimps sleeping at the moment. Still an awesome experience, and now we're the only people here. Small group of 4 of us, just enjoying being in the jungle with these chimps watching us. I just want to say a huge thank you to Billy, who allowed me to use so much of his beautiful footage to fill the gaps in this week's video. This CHEX experience was very special. In comparison to the shorter chimp hike we had done previously, the CHEX experience felt way more immersive. We were in their world for several hours, in such a small group as they went about their daily business. After a memorable morning with the chimps, we had another long drive as we headed south to Lake Bonyani. Well, good morning everybody and welcome to the beautiful Lake Bonyani. As you saw, we arrived here at KJ Eco Lodge sort of just after dark. We had some very nice dinner and a very peaceful night's sleep to recharge our batteries. The views from this lodge are absolutely beautiful and the rooms are so nice and clean. It's just a perfect place to recharge our batteries before the final part of our trip. After we've had some lunch here, we're going to do a 2-hour drive over to Bwindi Impenetrable Forest, get some rest there for the night before the following morning, where we go on our gorilla trek. To say I'm excited would be an absolute understatement, but for now, let's grab some lunch and then hit the road. So the drive to Bwindi impenetrable forest was actually a lot longer than we thought, mainly due to the very poor road conditions, but eventually we arrived at the gates of the national park and then pressed on through to our accommodation. So we've just arrived here at Ngandi, Uganda Eco Lodge, and this right here is one of the treehouse rooms that you can stay in here. It's super cool and such an awesome, beautiful place. The views are just insane. So we're gonna settle in here, have some dinner and get ready for our gorilla hiking tomorrow morning. Phew. Well, good morning everybody. The day has finally come. I just want to quickly interrupt myself to let you know that you can join me on my photography adventures. That's right, there are so many small details that make a huge difference to a photographic safari, and on my workshops I take care of all those details to help get you in the right place to grab those bucket list shots. As well as tailoring the workshop for photography, I'll be on hand to offer photographic guiding as well as editing tutorials during your trip. To see all my upcoming workshops, please click on the link in the video description to head over to my website. These trips are for all different levels of photography, and even non-photographers will have a life-changing experience. I can't wait to welcome you on my upcoming adventures, but now let's get back to the video. The day has finally come for the trip to reach its absolute highlight. It's 7:30 in the morning, we're about to leave the lodge here and go and hopefully, fingers crossed, find our first ever gorillas. So let's go. After a very warm and very African welcome, we were split into groups that were named after the gorilla family that we would be searching for. There are about 20 habituated gorilla families in Bwindi, and our group was called Happy, which is the name of the silverback gorilla who heads the family. As you can see here, I missed the memo to put a sad face next to the Happy sign. Our guides then told us a little bit about Happy and his family before we jumped into vehicles to access the closest location in the forest to where the trackers had last seen these gorillas. Trekking times here can vary drastically depending on where your gorilla family is located. It could be a 30-minute hike or it could be several hours. After finding the gorillas, you're given 1 hour in their company before you have to start hiking back to the vehicle. Luckily for us, we didn't have to hike too far. We're about 30 minutes into our hike here, not 6 weeks like Mike was trying to say. Yeah, we're about 30 minutes into the hike. We can hear some of the scouts shouting, so hopefully the gorillas aren't too far from us. But the jungle here is just incredibly beautiful. Yo! Okay, we have found our first gorillas here. I'm probably gonna just get in there, take some shots. Things could get a little bit frantic for here and then. Oh wow! It's hard to put into words just how it felt to feel so safe, yet so close to one of the planet's most powerful animals. Happy definitely lived up to his name and was so chilled and relaxed. To add a cherry on the cake, we were all so keen to see a baby gorilla. We knew there was one in the thicker bushes, we just had to hope that it would come out into the open before our time was up. We could see the mother through the bushes, and then every now and then we'd catch a small glimpse of the baby, but we really hoped for more. Eventually, our patience was rewarded. After having dreamt of experiencing this very thing for over 10 years, it was definitely an emotional moment. I was here to take it all in with my own eyes, as well as taking photographs and videos. Thank you. Sadly, our 1 hour with the gorillas has now come to an end, but that was one of the most sort of amazing experiences. What do you think, Bill?
That was incredible.
Incredible, Bill says. Yeah, just at the end there, the silverback came charging down the hill right next to us. It was amazing. Now we need to climb up this mountain. So we've just arrived back to our accommodation now. We're going to grab a quick shower and then we have a 4-hour drive through to Kigali in Rwanda, and that is where the trip will end. So I think it's best to just call an end to this vlog right now. What a life-changing adventure this has been, and remember, you can join me here next year. Please do reach out if you want to come and join us in this incredible place. Thank you very much for joining us on this fantastic Uganda adventure, and I'll see you very soon on the next one.